Support, protect, adjust. The three key things to not only eliminating but also preventing foot pain. You stand, you walk, you may even run, and so your feet take a lot of stress. They're also a big sign of how well you take care of yourself. And I'm here to give you all the info you need to get started on your journey to having better foot health. So let me introduce you to my little friend. My foot here has been a constant tool that we've used in the adjustment room for many years. Now, it's important to realize that the foot has three different arches. You can see one arch here, there's another arch here, there's another arch here. So those three different arches allow for your body to absorb shock in the foot as you're walking. So we want to protect those arches. And one of the ways we do that is understanding something about your arch length. So if we look at this device here, this is a right foot. We can see, here's the right heel, and we can see this arch length on this foot is measured at a 7. And so this allows in their shoe, they would get the proper support of that arch when they're measuring to this arch length. Now, what we're not measuring is to the end of this toe. And we're not measuring to that because we want to protect that arch. We want to get that arch getting the right support. So that's one of the first keys to think about, is getting the right support in that arch. Another thing to know is as we get older, our feet can change in length. So don't just assume that your feet are the same size that they've been for 30, 40 years. It's important to make sure that you're getting your feet resized as you get more mature. Another thing to think about too, as far as support, is quality matters. You know, our kids like the Crocs. They have a few different styles of Crocs, and those are convenient because they can just slip them on, go outside and hang out in the yard a little bit. But is that Croc really supporting that arch? Another thing to think about is if you're wearing a high heel, what's that doing to your foot? How's it loading your foot? How's it putting more force on this part of the foot versus this part of the foot? So really think twice about those high heels. So we've talked about good foot support with a shoe. Let's also talk about good foot support with an orthotic. As a chiropractor, we like a soft orthotic versus, let's say, a hard orthotic. And in the orthotics that we tend to like, there's a local shoe store by us that sells them for about $65, and they're custom molded to what you need. And what I like about those is they're going to help you get those three arches of the foot, get those three arches supported better with your orthotic. So I do like an orthotic if you're looking for some additional support with your shoe. Let's talk about protecting your foot. Now, one of the best ways you can protect the foot, in addition to not using those high heels, is also unlacing your shoe before you put the foot in or take the foot out of the shoe. That's going to help keep that stress off the foot, keep that pull or that tension off the foot, which can I think over time subluxate the bones of the foot, meaning misalign those bones. So unlace your shoes before you put the foot in and out of the shoe. Let's talk about adjusting the foot. Now, yesterday we had two different gals in the office, both in their 70s, who we got to see neat things happen with their feet. One of the ladies named Nancy has had foot problems for a long time, and it's really affected her ability to move. She can't walk a long way without limping. So she's limping, she's walking slower, it's affecting her gait, and it's really affecting how I think what she can do in life. Well, she came in and she had swelling in the top of her foot, about the size of a, let's say, a quarter, and we could see that it was right at the top, close to this bone right here. And it's called the navicular. And I put different force or pressure, just feeling, palpating to see where her pain was. And I found that there's a lot of pain on her navicular. Ended up adjusting this bone, had her walk in the hallway, and she was already walking better. She didn't have that limp. She could walk without pain. It was just so exciting to see, and I call that a dopamine hit. That's for myself. It was just so rewarding to see somebody with one adjustment get that relief, get that comfort. And I've seen this over the last 26 years of being a chiropractor many, many times. We had a nurse years ago who, the nurses in these hospitals are working on these hard floors, pounding, miles and miles of walking. And so this gal was having what's called interdigital neuroma. So between these bones, there are a nerve that runs in that area. And so she was having pressure on those nerves. What we ended up doing was adjusting in this lower part of the foot and or this end of the foot here. And she was amazed to see how that pain went away. We've had other patients who maybe they've been walking in their backyard and all of a sudden they twisted suddenly. They stepped into like a little hole in their yard. And what happens is a lot of times it's going to affect this part of the foot. And so we can talk on and on of all the different ways these bones can come out of place. And it's amazing to see how small adjustments can really make a big change in how that foot feels. And it's said about your feet that you can tell a lot about how somebody takes care of their health by the foot. You can look at maybe do they have toenails that need to be trimmed? Do they have corns, or they have different issues on their feet? And it tells a lot about their health, because if you can't walk or stand on your foot because you haven't taken care of the foot, you're going to have some problems. So taking care of your foot is really a very, very big deal. Now, in addition to adjusting the bones of the foot, the other thing that we do as a chiropractor is we work on adjusting the nerves that innervate the foot. Now, would you be surprised if I told you there's many different nerves that go into the foot? Offhand, I'm thinking about anything from L1 down to S5. So right there is 10 different nerves. We've got L1 and L2 coming into this part of the foot. We've got L3 coming into this part of the foot. We've got S2 through 5, that'd be like plantar fasciitis, S2 through 5 coming into the bottom of the foot. So we've got a lot of different nerves to consider as we look at healing that foot. So today we've talked about ways to help foot pain. We've talked about how to better support the foot, how to prevent issues with lacing or unlacing your shoe. We've talked about how to adjust the foot, how to adjust the spine, helping the foot. So if you're dealing with foot pain, I'd love to hear in the comment section below what type of foot pain you're dealing with. And also, if you'd like to subscribe, we'd love to have you as a subscriber. It's always a pleasure to talk to you. We look forward to talking to you again at our next video.